Let's move on. Moving on here to unfortunately some other sick and disturbing news. It is now being reported that, well, that we've done it, ladies and gentlemen. Our species has, in fact, done it. We did it on May 9th, 2013. Our atmospheric carbon concentrations have, in fact, reached a daily average of 400 parts per million. We did it. We did it, ladies and gentlemen. And that unfortunately means we are most likely doomed as a species. It is the highest concentration in close to 5 million years on the planet. The safe level that we are striving for is 350 parts per million. That is where the environmental group 350.org gets its name. We need to keep the concentration level to 350 parts per million. But we have passed 400 parts per million. We did it. Hooray for us, right? Hooray for us. This is bad. Additionally to that, there is in fact a new study from the National Academy of Sciences that found that at our current rate, if our greenhouse gas emitting pace continues as it is right now, that quote 57% of plants and 34% of animals will see their habitats cut by 50% or more by 2080, end quote. You heard the stats there, people. You heard me right. 57% of the plants, 34% of the animals. We could cut those losses by 60% if our greenhouse gas and carbon peaked by 2016, but that is very, very soon. And as we'll talk about, no one in power actually seems to care or give a crap about that. But really, though, why should they? Why should they care? Why should they care? I mean, it's only 57% of plants. That's only 57%. And who needs plants anyway? What good do plants do other than providing, breathable air and food? Oh, no, we don't need plants. Screw plants, screw the air. And stop whining. It's only a third of the animals. It's just a third. It's probably just the bad animals who are gonna die anyway. I mean, God won't let good animals die. It's just the bad animals are gonna die. Like snakes and wombats and yetis and stuff like that. Though it's clearly just gonna be the third of bad animals who die. This is horrible, folks. This is bad. This study actually goes along with another recent study. I think we talked about it before by the recently retired NASA scientist James Hansen, who found that, quote, if global warming approaches 3 degrees Celsius, if global warming approaches 3 degrees Celsius by the end of the century, it is estimated that 21 to 52% of the species on Earth will be committed to extinction. End quote. I'll let that sit in a second there. 21 to 52%. Look, if it's 21%, that's bad. That's horrible. 52%, that is half of the species on the planet Earth. Just try to imagine that. Try to imagine half of the species that are here today are gone tomorrow. Just imagine that. I mean, you can think of crappy disaster movies, but it's hard. It's hard to even fathom that. But the facts are we are heading that way right now. Which brings me back to those who hold power. Those who don't seem to care or to have the proper sense of urgency of this looming climate disaster. They don't have the sense of urgency that this disaster requires them to have. So, President Barack Obama recently sent out an email and some tweets and Facebook posts all about climate change. and you know, and the posts and the emails, they all linked to a website and a video with a bunch of Republicans. There's this video with Republicans just denying that climate change exists, right? There, you know, the video, it's all full of Republicans acting like morons, saying that climate change is not man-made, that carbon is perfectly great because we exhale carbon, so how can it be bad? It's just, it's a you know, a couple-minute video of Republicans being ignorant and stupid and denying science, which, you know, hey, is all well and good. It's all well and good, and I would love to be able to say right now, hey, way to go, Mr. President, way to go, way to attack those you know, science-denying morons. Except that there's, of course, a couple of problems with that. We have President Barack Obama, who is not a dumb man, who is a smart man, who supposedly does in fact believe in science. He supposedly believes that climate change is in fact real, and it is in fact a threat. That is what Barack Obama says in public again and again and again. And as much as I would love to say right now, hey, let's go get those idiot science-denying cavemen Republicans. I'm with you, Mr. President. I'm by your side. I'd love to come attack Republicans with you. As much as I'd like to say that, I can't. You know why? Because, President Obama, you are still most likely going to approve the Keystone XL tar sands pipeline. That is you, which again, as we've talked about before on this show again and again, is game over for our environment. Let me ask you folks something. Let me ask you, this is a real question I have here. In your opinion, what's worse? What is worse to you guys? And I really mean this. What is worse? An idiot who flat out denies in public science, who says the opposite of what all science is telling us. An idiot person who's just like, oh no, science isn't real, the climate isn't real, the world is flat. What is worse? A person who believes the world is flat and says the world's flat, or someone that you know, pardon me, that you know is smart enough to understand it, who you know has to know what's going on, who says in public and in speeches that I believe in science, I believe in that climate change is real and it's a major threat, who believes in that and still refuses to do anything about it. Who says it's real? Who says it's a threat? And then whose actual actions potentially, and if he approves the Keystone Pipeline, will make it worse? Look, Mr. President, you know, look, a lot of people say that I'm an idealist. A lot of people say I'm an idealist. I'm not pragmatic. But I'll be honest with you folks, I'm actually a lot more practical and pragmatic than people probably think I am. And look, Barack Obama, I may hate your drone policy. I may hate your assassination of American citizens policy. I may hate your coddling of Wall Street. I may hate the fact that apparently your Department of Justice is spying on reporters. I hate all that. I despise all that. But here's the thing. Personally, I would actually like the human species to survive. Call me crazy. I would actually like the human species to survive. And if Barack Obama is actually serious about fighting climate change, and if Barack Obama wants to have environmentalists and activists and human beings, if you want all those people to have your back, Mr. President, and take on the idiot climate change denying Republicans, well, let's make a deal, okay? Let's make a deal. If you want us to have your back in taking on Republicans, how about you deny the Keystone Pipeline right now? So instead of us spending our time protesting you and worrying about what the hell you're going to do, we can spend our time going after the goddamn troglodyte Republicans. How does that sound? How's that for a deal? But until the day that you, deny the Keystone Pipeline, which is 100% your decision. Republicans have nothing to do with it. It is you. You get to make that call. Or you know what? I'll even be nice. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. That's going to happen later. It's going to happen. There's a new report saying it may not happen until November. It may not happen until 2014 when the decision finally comes down. You know what? How about you give us a show of good faith? If you're not going to deny it tomorrow, you're not going to deny it now. How about this? I'll give you another one. Until you either deny the pipeline or two, get your EPA to seriously go after carbon emissions, which they do not need congressional approval to do. Until you do either of those two things, you do not get to attack climate change denying Republicans, because you know this is life and death and you are not doing anything about it other than scoring cheap political points. We'll be right back.